First and foremost, I'd just like to say welcome back to the Terriers Talk podcast. It's been a long 9 months, but we're finally back, and I say all this as we start the video anyway, but I'd just like to introduce it by saying there are a few technical and audio issues in this video slash podcast if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcasting service. We just want to say we've tried our best with the cuts. None of us are top level editors or producers or anything along those lines, so we tried our best to keep the cuts and we try to make it as fluid as possible. There are some parts where you can potentially notice it, and we do want to apologise for that now. However, as time goes on, be making we should make them more smooth as time goes on. So yeah, thank you for choosing to listen to the Terriers Talk podcast, and I hope you enjoy.
Right, welcome back to the Terriers Talk. It's been a long 9 months, but with a new season ahead, we thought we started back up again. So yeah, I think it's probably best to start where we've been, why we've been gone for as long as we have been.
Good question.
I finished first year of uni nearly, so that's kind of took a bit out of me. Obviously, you two have been college, school, different arrangements, things like that. So on that prospect, it took a bit out of us. So finally,
I think as well, being back at games, definitely. Because we started this in lockdown, obviously. Of course, we met at Derby away, first game of the season. So I think that made it a bit different for us. I think being there made it harder to judge. And I think we just lost interest in that respect. But we're back now. It was nice to see people happy that we were back when we sort of confirmed it on Twitter last week. But yeah, so we discussed it earlier and here we are filming, but we'll just get right into last season. What a season it was. Couldn't really have asked, well, we could have asked for one better game, but couldn't have asked for a better season back. Obviously, personally, I've never been to town games with people and must have made about 10, 15 close mates this season alone. I'm sure people watching have seen at least one of us 3 away games because we don't miss many. But yeah, it was a really good year, and we had a lot of moments that were just brilliant, and obviously culminated all in Wembley. But I don't want to talk too much about that.
Wembley's a tough one because obviously face value. You look at it from say for example, you look at it from 9 months ago, last episode. Say someone goes, right, we're going to be at Wembley in 9 months. You're like, no, we're not.
No.
Go down a bit. And then you get there, and what happens, which is obviously could be a topic for this, and it does sting a bit still. But the main factor is when you question it, and it's potentially a bit bold. As much as Prem football would have been nice, could we be doing what Forest are doing right now? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we could invest the same level of money that they've invested this summer.
Yeah.
In terms of their squad, were they potentially in that situation? Questions have to be asked there. So that's my take on it, really. It's disappointing, but I feel like it probably wouldn't have been the best thing for the club if we were to go up.
We don't need to dwell on Wembley because there was so many other great days. Those Borough away sticks out in my mind, absolutely. I'm sure it sticks out in Ben's mind, absolutely. But how early were you on it, Ben?
Yeah, it was a good day.
Now, Reading away were a great one as well. It weren't a packed out away and by any stretch it means, but Lordy getting a hat-trick, that was always nice. What a goal that last one was as well. But yeah, we had a lot of great days, a lot of great times. Sheffield United, I think obviously we talked about that when we were filming because that was
unbelievable.
However many months ago, but that was some day as well. We had a great year last year.
I agree. It was like, those seasons don't come round a lot, and it was a massive privilege following town last year, and we had quite a turbulent summer with cars departing and people, slight amount of ill feeling towards the club. But to be honest, I'm very excited for the season. We've made some quality signings, and really, I think the only way is up for us because even though we have lost our manager, and people are already saying, "Oh, we're doomed. We're not going to do very well next season." I think there's a lot of potential in this football club, and now they've shown us, what they can do. Why not do it again?
Yeah, I think to a degree I envy your optimism, to be honest, because I'm not. It's going. I think it will be a tough year. It's as I've just said. It was a hell of a year last year, and you know, it was tough to take. I think it's only right, to be fair, that we do talk about Wembley, because we've it's well documented what happened, and excuse me, it's just one of them, and didn't get it right on the day. I think we're not in the minority for saying that, as you know, bias doesn't play a part in this one. I don't think there should have been at least one penalty there. We weren't at it. Bottom line, we weren't on it that day. We didn't play well. To be honest, the game's sort of a distant memory. I remember the goal and the penalty shouts, and that's kind of it. But we weren't at it. And on the basis of that game, did we deserve to win? No, we didn't. We deserved the penalty kick at least, but no. Yeah, what were you saying, Ben? Sorry.
But I think there's so many questions that could be asked about that game on and off the pitch. Like, for example, didn't start Pickard, didn't start Sarr.
Yeah. Russell missing out was bizarre looking back at it. Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that it reminds me of what you said. What it had been a season and a half ago now, Jay, about Carlos being tactically naive, and I feel like you look at the systems in the playoffs that were used. You go from having Russell and having that kind of midfield three and having a four at the back and being solid in that and not looking under threat. Like, I mean, Luton, for example, I think that was a 4. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but that was a 4 with Hogg dropping in between to make it a 5, and then we switched to a 5, bring Sarr in, who, you know, you don't get told a week and a half after that you're not going to be at the club next season and whatever happens. So that baffles me.
That was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how you can start someone in a playoff final and then not offer them a contract, because I do believe, I obviously I don't know, but I do believe there was no contract offered. I could be wrong, but I'm of the belief that there was no contract offered. So he's started a centre-back in the most important game of the season, because let's be honest, as good as the season it was, it don't matter. The other, what is it, 46 and like 48 games before that do not matter if you don't win that last one. And that's
it's a tough mistake, isn't it? Because, like, obviously it's tricky because you don't want to undermine the season. That's the thing. Like, the main outcome for the season was, we said before, around 14th would be a very good season for us, given 2 back-to-back relation battles. Carlos still looking a bit touchy here and there with systems and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get 3rd, and then that's an incredible season. It's an incredible achievement. To get to a playoff final is an incredible achievement.
3rd in the league is a ridiculous.
3rd best team.
Only behind Fulham and Bournemouth, who, you know, Premier League clubs frequently in the last decade. Excuse me. They had a lot of money. Mitrovic shattering records. You know, Dom Solanke as well. If Mitrovic weren't playing this season, Dom Solanke would be heralded as one of the best Championship strikers ever. Yeah. So that campaign that he had was unbelievable, and to finish 3rd behind that, it can't be sniffed at. It can't be disrespected. It's an unreal season. I think we should touch on some of the players who contributed to that, because it's at the start of the season, did our squad look like a 3rd in the league squad? No, it didn't. Lee Nichols. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Fighting back the temptation to say whoa there, but Lee Nichols.
Our transfer business last season is so. I think the big part about us and transfers as well as a club is the past however many seasons have been filled with disappointments. You look at Diakab, you look at Mbenzi, you look at Pritchard. Yeah, exactly. However many names you can pluck out of a hat, 9 out of 10 of them are going to be, why have we signed them? That we've done awful business there. Then
Jason Punchin. I'll throw another name. Jason
Punchin. Jesus Christ. No disrespect to Jason Punchin, but
I doubt he's watching, Jack. I doubt he's watching.
I'm sure he is, actually.
But you look at our transfer business over the last few seasons, and you can say on a general level the club got it wrong. And last season was the first one where on the pitch they got it right, but off the pitch too. Because you look at players like Lee Nichols, for example. On the pitch, best goalkeeper in the Championship, yeah.
What a find! What a find!
Off the pitch as well, you've got a player there that understands the club, understands the fan base, and that is something which obviously I think the club are leaning more in towards, because obviously they've done the entire thing with taking signings to different places and doing stuff and not having it at the training ground, whatever, to ensure that they're getting the right personality, and that's something that as a club I think we need to continue doing, and I think we will continue to do.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think if I may, Ben, if you'll allow me to, Danny Ward as well deserves massive plaudits because obviously he come back in the 2021 season now from Cardiff with I seem to remember him having a decent goal to game ratio at Cardiff, and he looked okay coming in, and then injuries, 1 goal all season. I think a lot of us would have been happy if he was shipped out before this season.
We said at the start of the season that
I think
we love
it would have
Jordan,
been.
we love Fraser Campbell, Danny Ward, all right. And then look at it now. Do you really? I mean, obviously we'll get onto it later, but do you really see anybody being brought in that will take his place straight away? Probably not. No.
Not straight away. No, definitely.
And the work he does, he is destructive. He is tenacious. I mean, his third goal at Reading was probably his best goal all season because of the way he's
It combined everything, didn't it?
health. Yeah, he's combining all of his attributes and putting it into 1 goal, and that just sums his whole season up.
Yeah,
And like
absolutely.
you say, I mean, we could talk about players who contributed all day because let's be honest,
I think we should. I think there's more to mention.
Yeah.
there is, 100%.
Yeah, Ollie Turton. I mean, in the last 9 months, I've fallen in love. You know, I just adore him. He's everything I want in a footballer, and like obviously, I do what I do on my account. You know, Ginger Cafu and all that. If you sing that, think of this face, by the way. No, but no, he started. He had a shoddy start. You know, we all know that. I mean, Everton, Sheffield United, he didn't look too great either. Derby looked sort of suspect on the ball, but he's just coming to the side. He's made right back his own. Pippa's gone now, you know, and that could have been part of it. Probably was put down to Pippa that, but he made the right back position his own, and I think everyone loves him now, and rightfully so. The whole squad.
Like he's never been like strong in like a certain position. Like he's never gone, and he's been played right wing back and he's looked shaky in the past. He's come into that role now and he looks fine. And you could say, right, if we're going to play a 4 or 5, he'll be fine in it. Worst comes to worst, we can change it in different
right side of a 3 as well. He can do.
Like he's never really kicked up a fuss about where he plays in the squad, and that's something that, going back to like what I said about personalities and stuff like that, that's something that you're going to need in the squad, especially one with a lower budget. And that's why I think that, again, the transfer business last season was excellent. Right, so we had a bit of a technical issue with Zoom and recording limits of 40 minutes, which is less than ideal. But as Jack was just saying, we kind of talked about Ollie Turton, moved on to Bob Thomas and kind of and his astronomical rise to this first squad this season.
Yeah, it's just mad. What can you say? As I was saying before that got interrupted, was it 16 assists including everything in total? It was something like that, which is crazy for a player who was playing in Boreham Wood 18 months ago. Well, just over now probably, but yeah, it was a great signing. It was a great find. Whoever's responsible for that deserves a pay rise because we don't actually know what the fee was. I'm sure we can guess, but
low, don't we?
Sorry.
You just know it was like low, don't we? I think it was.
It was very low, but he'll be sold on for exponential profit. Like he will go. Probably this might be his last season at Town upcoming. Now I think he'll stay this season. I don't think there's any doubt of that. He has been just tied down till 2026 in theory with an option, I want to say. So yeah, his rise is fantastic. Gives some great moments. Blackpool at home, everything he's about, character, grit. He can't usually finish that well, but everything else, yeah.
The season that he shoots and can shoot well, season will lose him.
20 million.
As soon as that's, he's got everything else. The thing is, he's maturing more now as well, which is
definitely
so important in a young football. Like the fact that he's maturing and his game's improving as it goes on. Obviously, he had a purple patch 2021, then kind of off a bit and hasn't shown the same numbers. But you say, right, look, you've got 4 months to keep yourself in that Wales spot and potentially try and get yourself starting spot. He's going to go for it, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's quick, got set pieces, open play, crosses, could use work, but they're still good. And finishing, we all know, 3 goals for a wing back in a season. It's not outstanding, especially considering 2 of them win the same game. But Yeah, he's done phenomenally well this season, and I'm sure we'll touch on more what he could bring to the squad next season and a number change, which is great for him. I'm sure he's really happy because 7's a very, in the game of football, it's a prominent number, and I'm sure he's happy about that. But yeah, there was a lot of players who served us really well. Just to give a few, some namesake in the video: Tom Lees, like Pearson.
Majorly underrated, by the way, those two.
Both of them, yeah, absolutely. Pearson getting injured really didn't help his case in terms of notability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was fantastic. He put his body on the line, and Tom Lees, we all thought he'd back up and argue. For me, second best player of the season after Nichols.
Yeah.
I'd give him that. O'Brien was phenomenal, but for me, it's Tom Lees.
Yeah.
Just a real leader. And paired with the likes of Hogg, who's been here for however long, and Lewis, of course, and Tuffalo, who really did fight and really did show determination throughout the course of however many games. Yeah, we had a special squad last season, and hopefully a couple of departures that we will touch on won't break that squad up too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will, because I think obviously as long as you keep your, I don't want to say you keep your spine, obviously Toff and Lewis are part of that spine, but as long as you keep your Hogs, your Wards, for example, your Sorba, your Tom Lees, your Nichols, I feel like players like that will come back in, and then obviously you've got your replacements for Lewis and whoever. Obviously, we'll touch on that more as we kind of go on.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think we can avoid it anymore. I think it's fair to just get onto it now. Carlos Corbin resigned. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it took us by surprise a little bit. It all sort of came out within about an hour. A few various reports, and then confirmed by Town soon after. I mean,
what can you say, really?
Yeah, what can you say? It's stunning. Yeah, what can you say? It's just, I mean, we've got speculation. We think we know what's going on, but then we think we don't. Who are we to say?
No,
it could be money. It could be arguments internally. I don't know. It could be anything. And there's contrasting reports, and we're not here to comment on that because it's his private. It's his private life. It's his private decision, and I think it's just fair to say thank you for the season we've just had.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he's not watching this and he can't speak that great English, so whatever thank you is in Spanish. No, but gracias. Yeah, that's an easy one. I don't know why I didn't get that one, but yeah, he's done wonders. He had a really shaky first season. Yeah. I think I wouldn't have been sad to see him go in that summer, personally. But yeah, it was upsetting.
It's a football player.
I'd lean towards that though, because the way we just escaped relegation by the skin of our teeth, and contrast it to last week or the week before. I don't know. I've lost track of time. It's just some holidays. But when he did leave, I think the universal feeling with Huddersfield Town fans was, wow, this is very shocking for one, and it is a bit gutting because, let's be honest, he is our prized asset, and he is one of the best young upcoming managers in English football, really, because the rise he's taken us from where we were to where we are now, it's incredible. And I mean, fair play to him, because he had his doubters, and like Jack said, all we can say is thank you, because he's done a lot for this club.
You can't. Oh, God, sorry.
The thing is as well that you can't really, as much as you can see, should have got sacked after that season. I think as well, if you look at it from a club point of view and a financial point of view, you go, right, we've sacked the Cowleys last season, we can't sack Cowleys this season, and then you get into that entire messy situation of, right, if we become a club that are going to start being like Watford, and we're hiring and sacking managers every season, every other season,
who's going to want to come?
You become a very unattractive club.
Yeah. I can't necessarily say I wanted him gone.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have been annoyed. I'd have been neutral to it. And he's proved a lot of us wrong. He did have his doubters, even as far as, not, I don't know, February, March, he had doubters, like in and around the Huddersfield fan base. I was just trying to get the months right there.
Yeah.
Probably some people. There probably is people out there who are quite content with him being gone. I I'm not still angry. I'm not still bitter about it. And I'm not still upset. And I've accustomed to who we've appointed, and I see the logic behind it, and we'll touch on that. I'm sure, but it does hurt, and there's not much more. We just repeating the same points now. We just there's not more to say.
It's a tough one because obviously sacking manager, not sacking, but a manager starting this late in pre-season. Like,
it was 3 weeks when he left, wasn't it? And now it's one nearly.
Yeah, week and a half, something like that. Yeah,
just around that time.
First game next Friday.
Yeah.
So it's one of them where you look at it and you go, for face value, not ideal, but equally, like it's just a question of there's always going to be that question of why and what happened. What was the deciding factor, which I don't think we'll ever find out unless obviously one of us becomes chairman and we find out the reason as to what's happened in the club over the last however many years. It's not going to happen because at the end of the day, you get into that entire. We could come out and say Carlos wasn't happy with budget, he left. Then Carlos can put out statements. Then you've got an entire back and forth, which again takes away the attractiveness of the club.
Yeah.
I mean, the next point to touch on is Schofield. It makes complete sense to move on to that, and it makes complete sense to move on to him as a manager. I think it's continuity. And I think that's a big point that the club want to make. I think it's continuing with the manager, with the squad as much as possible, because you don't want an entire overhaul of the squad this late into pre-season.
If you were to go get someone else in this late, it would probably have either a similar or worse effect as Danny Schofield, because one, who do we have the funds to attract? Sean Dyche, probably not, and he would be my first choice.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney recently gone to DC. And then you're looking, a lot of money as well, of course. And then you're looking at managers who really don't fit the profile of what we're going for. They're coming to the ends of their managerial career probably, and then you're just looking in League 1 and 2. Then so Danny Schofield this has been said before by everyone else, but he's learning from Carlos, and he has been for the past 2 years. But he's his own man. And he will bring what he wants to bring to Huddersfield Town Football Club and the side that he puts out. He managed the B team, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Briefly or fully, I'm not sure. But so I never got a chance to fully watch the B team, to be perfectly honest. But I've heard they played good stuff, and I think it is one of the only choices we could have made, to be honest. And I see the concern because he is a fresh young manager, but so was Corbin.
Yeah.
And you can't. I think it will be a rough transitional year, to be perfectly honest. Less so transition, more so feeling without Corbin. So I'm okay with it, and I'm optimistic about it. As optimistic as I can be, because I feel like long term it is going to be the right thing for Huddersfield.
That actually makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It does, and I think the word continuity is a big one when you're talking about Schofield taking the reins. Initially, I was like, "Oh, it's just a cheap fix," but once the mist cleared, once I think we all settled down after a few days, you don't, like Ben said, you don't want. Sorry about the ambulance.
Coppers are after you.
Honestly, you don't want a complete overhaul, and I think to get the next best guy who has worked with the manager for 2 years, it does make complete sense, and I think all Town fans will back him. Some larger than others, and that's just been how you feel and how optimistic you are. But I think it's safe to say he cares about the club a lot. Obviously, playing him and now the manager. He said it was a shock to him, but that might ready him even more. You just take it as it comes. I think also really good that we've kept Chicho. I think he's massively passionate about the club. If I'm right, he's our set piece coach, and we're massive on set pieces, as we know. So that's a positive. And lastly, on this, we've recruited very well, and I'm very excited to see some of the players that he's brought in and how they'll fit into our system, because I really think the likes of Radoni, Kasuma will, and who knows about the others.
Yeah,
In fact,
we'll
Scott, just one last thing onto our field as well before
go
we
for it. Yeah, sure.
move on. I think I might be massively incorrect on this, but I think as well he had period under Bielsa as well.
Yeah,
So
briefly.
if he's learned even a little bit from Bielsa, whatever. Like obviously the entire Corbin thing was a disciple of Bielsa, this, that, the other, this, that, the other. And it became that kind of entire club around. He is disciple of Bielsa, leads of Bielsa, Carlos Corbin is taking us. Blah, 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 blah. You get onto a kind of thing like that, but obviously he's a footballing genius as Bielsa, as much as you might not like saying it. He's a footballing genius. So spending a bit of time with him, seeing a bit of how his methods work, will have obviously improved Schofield as manager as well. You've also got to think about it as well from another angle of looking at if you were to appoint Carlos before he was appointed and Danny Schofield before Carlos was appointed. Schofield's a more experienced coach, manager, however you want to word it, than Carlos was when he came into the club. So I think as well on that aspect, potentially we can expect a little bit better. And obviously the players know him and are warm to him because of what he does on the training ground anyway. We've got a large implementation of B team players in the squad. You look at a fair few will have spent time in the B team or will have spent time training with the B team to get back up to fitness. I can imagine Wardle will probably spent minutes with Schofield in the B team to try and get his fitness levels back up. Rhodes will have spent minutes in the B team, so they will know his coaching methods.
John Russell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Romani Edmonds Green. There's so many that you can think of that will have at some point played under Danny Schofield and played or trained at least under Danny Schofield. So I think as well that entire idea we keep coming back to continuity, but there is a large part of the squad that will know he's about, and obviously for a fan base as well, he was at the club for 10 years as a player, so obviously an older fan base who I think struggled to identify with Carlos and struggled to understand Carlos a lot more as well, will appreciate the fact that we've looked at somebody like that. Obviously you don't want to be going right sound in 5 years we'll appoint Jordan Rose because he played in 2012 and was very good, but he'll potentially get along more with the fan base and have a more of a connection with the fan base than Carlos potentially ever did, and I don't think that's too out there saying that because Carlos's relationship with the fans was never the same level that Wagner was or anybody else on that scale.
Yeah, and obviously best of luck to Danny Schofield and Chico as well. And once again, thank you to Carlos and George, if I'm saying that right, George Alcaron. But we'll move away from the managerial situation and talk about who's going to be on the pitch and who isn't going to be. And I think we should start with who isn't going to be. And we'll talk about the players who were released on the expiry of the contract. Less notably, Kirill Eiting. How excited were we when he came in and nothing? All came out about his the classic stepping stone sort of things come out in the foreign newspapers, and he's gone.
February, didn't it? And it was just from there, it just never happened.
No.
He was left out of the squad for quite some time, I believe, and then he sort of came back involved later on. But one start in the league? Did he even get a start in the league? He definitely got one in. He started in the cup. Barnsley in the cup, and he got hooked at half time.
He started against Bristol, right? I think.
Did he?
No, it didn't. Did he?
Did he not?
He might have done.
Did it? I don't really remember the Bristol game, but it didn't matter, did it? Anyway, Kirill Eiting gone. Bye. Thank you. But bye. Fraser Campbell.
Is he the same player that he was 2 years ago? So
No.
that's another.
How do we know? We didn't get to see.
I mean, like he seemed a lot different when he was at the club last time, and on a personality perspective anyway. And then this time around, obviously, saying his second son, whatever.
I don't think there's enough to say about him to warrant anything else. To be honest, it's Kirill Eiting. He made 3 appearances. He'd see you later. Fraser Campbell. Gone couple of years, 3 years with the club, done a job. Came in Cowleys, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did a good job. Good servant to the club. Didn't score all too many goals. Had a good season under Carlos first time round. 9 goals. It's nothing to shy away from. No, absolutely.
Okay.
But again, not really notable from last season. Didn't score a goal. Didn't make too many appearances. Might get a good League 1 or 2 move, but he hasn't gone anywhere as of right now. So,
you're not going to lose sleep over it, are you?
No, absolutely not. Alex Valeo as well, great player, really classy footballer, but injured a lot.
Sad that, isn't it?
It is sad. Yeah, but he looked really great. He scored a great goal against Blackburn, of course.
That was his last game.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow, well, fair enough. Everton at home this season sticks out in my mind. He just looked like a Rolls Royce in the middle, but he was eventually not replaced, but that blow was softened by John Russell, who's taller Alex Valeo, and that's a really good compliment to give him. I'm sure he'd take that because Alex Valeo is a phenomenal footballer. Just
Yeah.
he's
If
just one of them,
you
innit?
offered me Valeo 2 or 3 years ago, wow,
Yeah.
like that, you'd take it in a heartbeat just because of the fact that he, like we say about Valeo, he's just the Rolls Royce of a player. He will find
Busquets.
yeah,
That's all I got to say.
Busquets, yeah.
Busquets.
Yeah, just fantastic footballer and probably going to go back to Spain. So wish him luck.
Good luck.
I think there's only one more, if I'm not mistaken, and probably the biggest and toughest to take of the lot, and that's Naby Sarr. Tough start at a town shirt, I think it's fair to say. Inconsistent start. Inconsistent first 2 years. Oh, yeah, I should say. Because he did look like a mistake waiting to happen at his worst. Red cards, I think he got a couple.
Yeah. It's what Charlton fans said about him from the off, and it was he is a very good defender, but he always has that moment in him where you're like, I don't like this. He doesn't look comfortable, and the playoff final was one of those games, and in 20 minutes in, you could go right. I am absolutely terrified of that man getting the ball on this football pitch today because it is one of his power games, and it wasn't. The thing with Naby Sarr is, as a defender, brilliant. As a ball playing defender, can be brilliant.
The issue is the thing, he can be. Yeah.
He doesn't have a bad spell in a game. He doesn't have a bad 20 minutes. He has a bad game, and when that happens, you can tell from the first 5-10 minutes from his first few touches. Playoff final, he didn't look on it. He didn't look comfortable. He didn't look calm on the ball.
And I think to be totally fair to Naby, that was the only game this season where it really wasn't.
100%.
Before that, he did not play enough. We all love Levi Collarville, and we'll touch on him because he's going and Sinani as well. But whenever he played, West Brom, just wow. He's just a colossus, goal threat. Luton at home, comes on, scores within 2 minutes. I think I'm gonna say he's one of the closer things we've had to Michael Effler since he's gone, just because of the character and the. Yeah, Tuffalo wasn't great. He was a good player. He got us promoted, but he had his faults. Yeah, and he wasn't the quickest, but he'd pop up when you needed him, and and Sarr cared about the fans. Yeah. Sarr was one of them who'd always come over, have a dance with us. And I'm gonna miss him. I think probably
players that I feel like the dressing room will miss as much as the fans will, because obviously, like we say, he was mistake prone, but when he had a good game, he was a solid championship centre back. He was.
I'm sure he will get a championship move. Or the equivalent.
I'm
sure he will. Yeah. But I don't know. I am sad he's gone, but it probably is the right decision looking at who we've brought in.
100%.
So yeah, it's one of them where you've just got to suck it up and be all right with it. And correct me if I'm wrong, lads, but did anyone else leave at the end of the contract? A couple of younger lads, maybe.
No one.
Contract extensions for Hoff. Hoff and Roma, but
no. And then there's the last two ones who've left us and are pretty much set in stone, not going to be coming back, are Levi Collarville and Daniel Sinani. The latter we had an option on and didn't take it. So yeah, talk to me about that. Levi Collarville, what great player. He's gonna be in England.
He's gonna be world class. He'll be world class. I've got.
I wouldn't go that far.
Really?
I like him, but I think he'll play for England. But I don't think he'll hit the highest level because he does have flaws. And if he irons them out, he's very slow on the ball. He brings it out. He brings it out, but he's painfully slow at times. He's very much your sort of modern conservative 90% of the time centre half.
But he's 19.
He's 19, absolutely. And it's hard to say, but I can't confidently say he will get to that level, but he will get very high. He should play for Chelsea. He should be in and around.
It's just a case of how high his potential will go, because obviously, like, you've got the Chelsea thing. Is he?
Yeah.
That entire debacle. Obviously, we're not a Chelsea podcast, but
but it's looking like
I could rage about it. You can say
confidently from seeing him, his ceiling is ridiculous, and it's not even a case of there is a ceiling made of bricks. He will get to that point and he will do just fine there. It's a case of there is very much a glass ceiling and very much has the potential to go right sound. I've got much more than this and demand to play Premier League football, because realistically, I think he could make that step up now and he'd be fine.
I think he's a Premier League centre half.
Yeah.
I think right now he is. I don't think he's a Chelsea centre half, but I think he's a Premier League centre half. I think
half in a year and a half, I'd say.
Yeah, I think he's a loan spell away.
Yeah, 100%.
Similar to what Guehi should have been.
Yeah.
Guehi should have gone on loan, and again, not a Chelsea podcast. He should have gone on loan. Right now, he's one of the better centre backs in the Premier League. Yeah, Tomori could have gone on loan to the Premier League. Did he? No, he played for Chelsea in the Premier League, and then he
played a few games. Then he went on loan to Milan, didn't he? And then
they bought him.
It's endless. It's endless.
Let's just rebrand the podcast. We'll just become Blues Colour Football is the game.
Yeah.
Blue is the colour. No.
It's just the whole their entire idea around loans and youth players.
It's obscene. Players like your Kennedy and your Piazon, who else am I thinking? The centre half who goes everywhere.
I know.
You know what I mean? Michael Hector.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then they go like Jake Clark-Salter for free. I don't understand that.
So what is the point in developing your loan players if you're just going to let them go for free? Yeah. But anyway, the bottom line is Levi Collarville is gone. We expected it. Yeah. There might have been a chance of getting him back on loan if he went up, but probably not. So
could have given it a shot.
Could have given it a go. Yeah.
He said he wanted to play Prem football with us if we went up, or Chelsea or something like that. I think.
Fair dues. Well, no, but it was a pleasure to have Levi, and it was a pleasure to be trusted. I've just remembered one more as well, but we'll touch on that with the signings, because there was one more loanee from Chelsea, but we don't quite know if he'll be with us again. But then Daniel Sinani, anyway.
Interesting player.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, to be honest. He was all right. Yeah, he was decent. He was decent.
You couldn't tell with Daniel.
He was not a right winger. He was not a winger.
No.
He was forced out wide. He's a number 10. He's a classic number 10. Not strong, not quick, but he did have magic in that left foot. And
yeah.
Are we about done with Sinani, or what?
I don't know really what else you can say.
Few goals, few assists, could take a corner. And he clearly had a bit of passion about him, had a bit of,
Wouldn't spend a transfer fee on him, though.
I wouldn't either, no. I'd be stunned if he plays for Norwich regularly this season.
I think he will. I think he will. I think he will, and I think he'll establish himself, to be honest. But
I hope he does, because he helped us a lot. But he's just, for me, he's just one of them players that's, I'd take him or leave him.
He's Marmite, and I think that's the best. Yeah. That's the best compliment you can give Sinani, is that he's
Marmite. I don't like Marmite.
I'm all right. I wouldn't spend a fair bit of my transfer budget on a bit of Marmite.
It depends who you are.
That is fair.
Your Man City flying out a really big gold tub of a Marmite from Abu Dhabi.
Right. I feel like we're speaking about departures from the club. We spoke about contracts. 2 players with interesting contract scenarios over the past 24 hours at the time of filming this.
We'll get these out of the way. Yeah, sure.
It's Lewis O'Brien and Harry Tuffalo.
Gone. They're gone.
They're gone. To be honest, I don't think you could have said at the end of last season, I expect to have one of them, let alone both of them would be going in.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody expected Tuff to stay, especially with how long contract negotiations have been.
That's kind of, to be perfectly honest, I think that's a bit dodgy. I don't know what's gone on there, but
it's questionable. It's very questionable.
We'll go with questionable. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll touch on Tuffalo first, I think, because I think Tuffalo's the more of a talking point one. Tuffalo, there was I think it was the Examiner that put it out. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But there was contract talks with Tuffalo and Corona in parts of last season. No, in the mid-season part of last season. You come to whenever it was, end of May, start of June. Neither of them have signed a contract yet, so we offer him extensions. We're either going to lose Tuffalo at the end of the season for free, we offer him an improved contract after the season he's had, or he leaves. God knows what's happened there behind the scenes. not our place to speculate. Would you keep him on as a personality? Yeah. In a 4 with Danny Schofield, would he work? Debatable.
I'm just going to say this right now and put it on the record. I do not rate Harry Tuffalo. You guys know this.
Oh, we
I,
know. We know.
Yeah, oh God, you know. I don't rate Harry Tuffalo. And I'll die on that hill. The amount of stick I get for it, fair play, because it is a controversial Huddersfield opinion.
Controversial. It's very
It is controversial, and 14 goals and assists cannot knock it, but a left back should not be judged on that.
No.
As much as he is, he cannot defend.
He can't
To
defend,
save
no.
his life. If he didn't have Jonathan Ogg, Levi Collarville, and Tom Louise behind him, he'd get exposed. And I think if he plays, which I don't think he will, in the Premier League, he'll get run through. He'll get mauled because he's not a good defender. He's not strong. He's not particularly quick. To be brutally honest, he's not even that good at delivering into the box. His crosses are not that good. And it frustrates me because he's just... To be perfect, I'm happy he's gone. Like I invite him going because Lewis is a completely different story.
Yeah, Louise is a different story. Which we'll
But for me, I would much rather get some attacking midfielders in, which we have done, and get them 14 goals and assists from a place that doesn't jeopardise us at the back.
Yeah,
I think.
I'll take this to you. I'll take this to both of you. Jack first, because you're quite opinionated on Tuffalo.
A little bit.
He didn't have his. Do you think if he didn't have his character and the whole fan favourite thing, he'd be rated as much as he is?
No, absolutely not.
And
I have utmost respect for him as a person. I just want to put that out there because what he did for Daz after he passed away was
even when Daz was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just with everyone. To be honest, that was just extra special to me. It was a beautiful moment. It's the times where you feel proud of your football club.
Yeah, like you said, it made you feel proud. I think the thing with Toffs as well is you look at the majority of his time this season. How many games can you genuinely say with a straight face, Harry Tuffalo is a player where if a transfer bid came in for him, you'd be upset if he went. And for a large part of the season, dare I say, he wasn't excellent. He wasn't. I don't say not good, but I wouldn't say he wasn't great. He did a job. And
I'll take over here. He wasn't good. No, for that 2 months, it was in the big unbeaten run, which we haven't mentioned, but quickly it was what 18 games.
Okay.
In all competitions, including the little cup run we had. For a large part of that, he was poor, and Josh Ruffles should have come in. But
incredible Ruffles.
Yeah, Josh Ruffles played about 4 or 5. I think he started 3 games, maybe. And to be brutally honest, what is the point of having a backup player, if when performances dip, he doesn't get a chance?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's probably due to the fact that
you can't change your winning team. I respect that, and
I think the same thing with Turton. Turton really at the start of his tenure at Town wasn't comfortable in a 5.
That's true. Yeah, no, you make a good point.
5 and he's comfortable. Ruffles, especially in the kind of period that it was January, February, you don't really want to be experimenting with playing a player that isn't really too comfortable playing in a 5. In a 4, Ruffles any day, 100%. In a 5, you want to keep that continuity. You want to have that kind of he can play there and he'll be comfortable there, which is why I kind of see why he's like that. But I do agree. Like if Toff wasn't as loved by the fans, I don't think there'd be as much. I don't want to say outcry because there's not really been outcry. I think a lot of the fan base are now slowly starting to go, right, well, Town had a contract offer there for him. Right, how come he hasn't signed it? And I don't want to say there's been frustration, but I feel like frustration is the best word that I can think of currently to describe it. But there's been a contract offer there from Town for however long. The report that there's been contract offers there from Town. He's not taking them up. You don't want to keep on a player that, quite frankly, doesn't want to be here for the amount of money that we'll offer him.
Absolutely, and I think him going opens up a lot of other opportunities for us, and it's on us whether we take that. But as I've said, get them goal contributions from a more healthy place for the team, i.e., a winger, attacking midfielder, striker.
I mean, Ruffles doesn't go right automatically. Yeah, you are never ever getting a goal contribution from left back.
Absolutely, but he's not. He doesn't have the quality that Tuffalo does. Yeah. Going forward, but he had a respectable campaign in League One before we signed him. I think 12 goals and assists, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
6 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah, even split as well. So I watch a fair bit of League One. I'll talk about that when we talk about who we've signed. And I like Ruffles for Oxford. He's good. He arrives late. He's got a good stand-up cross. So if he is our starting left back this season, I'm not going to complain. But I wouldn't mind us bringing another one in because I think Ben Jackson probably could do with another loan. But yeah, we'll move on to Lewis now, and we'll just touch on that. Yeah, this one's gutting. This one hurts a lot.
It is. And he's Premier League. He's Premier League. Full stop.
I'm gonna
Should have been with us.
I'm gonna go bold and say that it doesn't hurt as much as you think it would.
Yeah, maybe not. But
It's bold, yeah, and it's one of them where it's a big claim to make because of obviously how good he is, but everyone knew he was going this summer if we didn't go up. There was a 10% chance, if that, of him staying. The way that the transfers have gone, you don't really want it to be the fee that's been rumoured.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say confirmed because nothing's confirmed in it. We've not had a Nottingham Forest haven't come out, Huddersfield Town haven't come out and gone. We have had a £10 million bid accepted for Harry Tuffalo and Lewis O'Brien. That's not happened. But from the speculation and how much speculation there has been regarding transfer fees, you could say, right, I wish we'd have got a bit more. But the fact that we've got our business done early, if you'd have said to me at the end of last season, we'll sign 2 players to replace O'Brien, we'll have a more complete midfield as a result of it, which I think we will do as a whole, I'd shake your hand and I'd say, yeah, I'd prefer that, to be quite frank, especially if you left it this late. Would we get Kasuma? Would we get Radoni if O'Brien tomorrow, Forest coming for him tomorrow, and there's no interest in him, we don't like keeping him, Forest then coming tomorrow, we go, right, so we'll give you 10 million for him. And Radoni and Kasuma have gone to Blackpool and Preston, for example. You're gonna be disappointed because they're 2 players there that can and will fit this system.
Yeah, no, it's he's just been a good servant to us, and it's all right that he's gone. You know, he's going to sting the side a little bit because he's a phenomenal footballer, and his ball carrying is some of the best I've seen at our level, and the way he retains it and glides past people. Passing, finishing, yeah, not quite Premier League, but I think he will get there with time playing there.
You don't have a sell-on clause because there is a deal in there for him, and
there's more room to grow. Yeah, I think with all due respect to Nottingham Forest, because we're so respectful to each other as clubs, I think he does have a higher ceiling than Nottingham Forest. We'll see how they do in the Premier League. We'll see how they grow as a club. Because they do belong there.
Value, Nottingham Forest as a playoff promotion winner, he deserves a club more. On face value alone, that's not me saying Nottingham Forest are a playoff winner, they are going down straight away. That's me saying on face value, on paper.
I think he deserves a bit of a guarantee.
Yeah. If it was somebody like
Palace.
I don't want to talk if but maybe, but if it was a Burnley 3 seasons ago where the mid-table, they could get relegated, but the mid-table, they're somewhat secure in the Prem status, I'd say, right, that's a fair move. He probably deserves a little bit more than Burnley, but that's the kind of level that he's at currently. And I think that's probably fair. With the signings that Forest are making, they're probably going to be that level anyway. They're probably going to
they have made some good business.
They've made some excellent business. I mean, to be fair, I reckon we just sack off the Terriers talk. We just become Trent side talking now as well. Talk about.
I don't know the Forest song. I've never been asked to learn it. It's something about City Ground. But the point is, I don't.
2 Forest fans at least, so I know the first line. It's our City Ground. I'm just rolling in from the Trent.
Oh, there you go. Great parts, Ben. Look, we can't keep talking about this because it's not the nicest thing to say. We're losing one of our better footballers and then Harry Tuffalo. So, and we are losing them to the people who we did eventually lose out to in promotion. I don't care. I'm glad Lewis is going there over Leeds.
Shouts as well.
What's that?
Both players were the ones that had penalty shouts as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just leaned in to hear you better. I've got headphones. But yeah, it's a bit rough. But yeah, we will move on now, I think, to who's coming and who could be coming in. Into the incomings now. We'll try going chronological order. So that means we start with Will Boyle coming back to the club from Cheltenham Town. Free transfer, left-sided centre-back. So I watch a lot of League One. I've mentioned with Josh Ruffles. I like Will Boyle. He's a real leader. You could see it at Harrogate, which we did go to, that he was a real leader. The best way I can describe him to people who haven't watched him is left side of Matty Pearson. And it's a bit of a lazy comparison, to be fair, but it's fairly accurate because they do both. They can play out, but I think they're both more comfortable looking for a longer ball, which is a good option to have, especially when you look at the other sort of left-sided defender we've got in. But I like the signing. I'm happy with it. It's another good character in. Lads, anything to add?
Looking at it from a numbers point of view, exactly the same as Matty Pearson, but less.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, like just quickly on the Rhodes goal from, was it Morecambe? I feel like I want to say Morecambe.
Oh, the pre-season friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he played the ball into Rhodes, and there's talk on Twitter about it's not a good ball, it's a lazy ball, whatever. I think it's a brilliant ball because it's the exact kind of ball that you want to play into Jordan Rhodes. Because if you played that ball at Danny Ward, you'd want him to play it a bit more onto it, get it behind. You want to play out to Jordan Rhodes. Jordan Rhodes is a player where, as a defender, you're gonna hate coming up against him with the ball in the air. He's gonna make it uncomfortable for you, and then try and create space. You've got however many things into your mind. Will Boyle knows that, plays the ball, it's a good ball, score a goal from it. Lovely. Cheers for the young. But yeah, I really like the signing. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, watching him at Harrogate for the first time, he's imposing. He's a leader. He was shrieking at the academy lads to get their out, to get the backsides in gear.
Cheers, Jay. Family friendly.
Yeah, cheers. Sorry. I think he's everything that we need. Again, I think it's a good deal. Obviously on a free. He knows the club. He knows the area.
Knows the fan base.
Knows the fan base. I just don't think we can go wrong. I think, like you said again, left-sided Matty Pearson, bit of a hard case. Very ugly. Sorry,
little bit on the slower side as well.
Yeah,
it's not exactly quick, but and the obvious one. If we need a kit model, we'll call up someone else.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he gets his stick about that, but he doesn't look 26 years old. He looks 40.
No.
He looks like he's a local, and he's a regular at the local. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'll say this now, boys. I would buy a kit that Will Boyle is producing.
Fair play.
Respect.
Can't knock it. But yeah, Will Boyle, happy with it. I'm happy with them all. But get it out of the way early. I'm relatively happy with it, barring one. But yeah. And speaking of, for me, if he stays fit, signing of the season will be David Kasuma. I am a huge fan of him. He hasn't played regularly for a while because he does have little injury problems, and he's going to need to sort that out. And we do have a good fitness team who can get him through that. They got Danny Ward through it. Haven't quite got Rolando Aarons through it yet, but
you can talk about Tuffalo in that aspect because Tuffalo had his issues this year.
He did. Yeah, no, the back, I think, was it?
Back.
Yeah, but David Kasuma, if you haven't watched him, he's like a perfect combination in my mind of O'Brien and Hogg because he's got the tenacity and the aggression of Jonathan Hogg and the strength. To be fair, he's a strong boy. But he don't lose the ball. He has the miraculous, uncanny ability to not be pressed, and I really like him. I think it's a great sign. We've tracked him for a while, I believe, and Swansea were looking at him because look for Russell Martin, obviously, and MK Dons. But I'm very happy with that one, and I was. It does, yeah. No, it's gonna. I think it is gonna be a good signing for us, and I just got to keep him fit. Bottom line, got to keep him fit.
I think as well is I don't want to say he's the true O'Brien replacement.
Yeah,
that's a massive statement to make.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
You look at heat maps, and I don't want to look at it from heat maps say everything in football, and looking at heat maps, you can tell exactly
numbers
how it works. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. But
he runs.
He has the exact same kind of positioning that O'Brien did in a double pivot in midfield, which as well you got to take into account. He's played on the left side, so I feel like he was probably going to be the player that we got to slot into that O'Brien role, and he will be the left-sided central. I can't speak English. He will be the left-sided central midfielder next season because O'Brien's going. Simple. In my eyes, I think it's just a very good signing that makes sense. and he's
Yeah.
from the same kind of aspect that O'Brien did. O'Brien, I think going back to when O'Brien broke into the squad, the questions were: is he going to be able to replace that role that we're missing because of Aaron Moy, and is he going to be able to recreate our midfield to get to bring what Aaron Moy brought in some aspects and whatever? You've now got that question with Kasuma. Will he be able to do it? I think long term, yeah.
I think he'll bring something different. I think O'Brien brought something different to Moy, and I think Kasuma will bring something different to O'Brien.
Yeah.
And I think he'll complement Hogg perfectly. I think Hogg will be happy that finally he's got another midfielder who'll just smash into someone for a laugh. You know, and I think Hogg will love Kasuma. And
what's it called? His behaviour. I don't want to say behavioural record because it's not a
disciplinary.
Yeah,
I think yellow cards. He racks up a few, but I don't think he gets sent off a lot. I don't think I've seen him get sent off.
Really likes a yellow card as well.
Yeah, the stupid little fouls.
Yeah.
So I think that'll probably get ironed out because he's at a higher level. Yeah. But we'll talk about this one now, and this is the signing where I just sort of think, Conor Mahoney. I think he's Sinani's replacement. Left-sided right winger.
Yeah.
It's very meh. Like, he's scored 2 goals in 2 years.
He did have that great game against us like 2 years ago, though. So there's
that. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
You've got that entire factor. I don't want to say he's a Tom Lee's Matty Pearson signing, but he's comes to the club. No one's expecting a lot. Does well, he does well. If he doesn't do well, he doesn't do well.
It's no risk. It's no risk at all.
No risk, no. I doubt he'll be on tens of thousands a week.
No, he was on a lot of money at Millwall, though, I believe.
Yeah, but
so he has probably taken a salary cut because having watched like Millwall content and from fans, I think they expected him to go to League One.
Yeah.
I think that they thought that was his level, so it's probably quite surprising in their minds that he has. But in the same people, I haven't watched much of Conor Mahoney, I'm not going to lie, but the same people that I've gotten this information from have, and this is a quote, that he was the most talented player at Millwall last season. And I don't know, because apparently he has got talent, but he just doesn't, he doesn't fit. He isn't, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm just not inspired by that signing.
No.
And I think I'd love to be proven wrong, and I think he sounds like a good lad for his interviews, and he's clearly got talent because he made his debut at 16, and he's 25 now.
Yeah.
So he ain't kicked on. We love an underdog. We love rehoming players almost. So why not? I'm not buzzing with it, but why not?
It's not a sign that's going to be the difference between going up and going down, but it's going to be a player that, especially with 5-6 being the norm now this season, it's going to be a player where you go, right, there's 25, 30 minutes to go, bring Mahoney
What can
on.
you do? Yeah.
Why not?
Just give it a go.
It's all you can do. And I mean, if he comes out anything along the lines of how Lees and Pearson have, and I don't want to say he will be like Lees and Pearson because Lees and Pearson had great signings, whatever. But if he can kick on like those two have, that potentially weren't expected to be as good in the Huddersfield system as potentially others, why not? It's a low risk sign and it makes sense. Why not? We're missing players out wide. We've got players that can get frequently injured. Karoma being one of those. You've got players there that now we're going to fill those gaps in.
Yeah,
that really makes sense. And there's not really any. You've got Pat Jones, you've got Danny Grant, you've got a few others like that potentially could step up to the first team this season. But you want somebody that's got experience in a first team dressing room that, if needed, can come on. And I mean, you can act as a role model because we've got a lot of young talent in the squad. Pat Jones, Danny Grant. I don't know. Keep saying them two, but them two, for example, Aaron Rowe, wingers. You don't want them to get into the wrong mindset. Mahoney has obviously had a lot of talent at a young age. He's had a fair few transfer fees spent on him. Bit of a mentor for them, and I don't think that'll go against them. Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, yeah. And then fourth signing, he's since left already, but Kyle Hudlin.
Yeah,
big man, 6'9", tall. Solihull Moors, centre forward. Not a good footballer. Just get that one out of the way. As of right now, not a very good footballer. I can't claim to be some sort of National League super fan, but I've seen Solihull play.
I finally scored an header.
He actually, in fairness, watching that game before he went off injured, he looked okay. But prior to that, I've seen him play against your likes of Grimsby, Halifax. I haven't watched him play much, but from my small sample size, I'm glad he's out on loan, because it's got to be one of them where you've got to develop him. Yeah. As of right now, he could not go into a championship first team, even as a sub, or arguably as a reserve. He couldn't go in.
He's one of the players where you won't want to give us. You won't want to. This season, if you'd open up the squad list, the squad numbers list, and you see him given a number, you're going to be like,
It's no disrespect to him, because he's clearly here to work, and some players just do need to work. And I hope to God that he's ready to work, and the staff are ready to work with him.
Yeah.
To push him, because if you get a 6'9" striker playing, because he's got ability, there's ability there. He's got a bit of flair and pizzazz about him, and he's got a good touch.
Yeah.
But he just needs to learn some of the basics, and for a 6'9" player, he needs to learn how to head the football.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it from a very, I use social media as my main form of transfers. Kyle Ludlin he scored that one volley that was really good.
Yeah, the one where he bounced it up for himself.
At one point. So, in my eyes, get him up on a 10-year contract. It's not going to be like that. And then you look at it from a more realistic perspective. He's a player with a lot of work to do. He's had an astronomical rise so far.
Yes.
I think he's only recently kicked on at Solihull Moors. He's every single person that I've seen from a Solihull Moors point of view has said he's a player that will work. He's not a finished article by any means, far from it. But give it a bit of time, and potentially you've got a very good player on your hands there.
I really do hope that's the case, and hopefully Wimbledon, who he has since departed and gone on loan to, can help him out with that. And Johnny Jackson there, who was at Charlton managing. So give him some games, see what he can do. I'll be keeping an eye out. I don't watch much League Two football, but I'll try to keep an eye out for him and see what happens with him. And then on the topic of Wimbledon, and this is one that I really, really like, and we beat a few clubs to, Jack Rodoni, £800,000 rising to $1 million. Unheard of for Huddersfield Town to spend that sort of money. No. But yeah, it's first serious fee for a while, isn't it? It's exciting, yeah. It's a goal scoring midfielder. It's 19 contributions for a relegated League One side. It's
12 goals last year.
12 goals, 7 assists.
There you go, in business.
When you look at it, face value, it's a very exciting signing. It's a live one.
Watch him play, he has got the fundamentals of football to a T. As an attacking midfielder, he's not particularly fancy. He's not a flair player. He's not that, but he can shoot, he can pass, he can cross, he can head the ball. Like,
that's all you need, isn't it?
If you watch him play, he's just, you can tell in that Wimbledon side, he was light years above the rest of them, and he's 20? He was 20 at the time. He's just about turned 21.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing, and he'll make that step up. And I think that's what I'm saying about Harry Tuffalo. He will replace them goal contributions, I'm sure, because he's physically there as well. That's the thing. Sometimes coming up from League One as a young player, you're not physically there, but he looks the part, and I'm sure he's got the attitude to play for Huddersfield Town. And we could look a lot better going forward this season.
I think we will do. I think
more dynamic. I think
the mainstay of Carlos football was, you're going to be very, I wouldn't say very solid at the back. You're going to be fairly solid at the back. If we had a keeper other than Lee Nichols, would we be saying that? I don't know, but if you're starting at 5-back paper, you're not going to score too many goals. We didn't score loads of goals. I can't really remember the last time that we played a game and we scored 2-3 goals in a game. Potentially on the Schofield, you're going to have a more attacking side, because I don't think he plays a 5. I don't think he plays a 3. I think it's more 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
Played 4-4-2 a couple of times, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So I think more, I don't want to say more attacking, but I feel like there's going to be more players in that kind of system that are going to need to be more attacking.
Yeah, definitely. And Jack Rodoni, I just think it's a good signing. I think we've beat Sunderland, Bristol, Luton. I think Southampton were watching him as well. Which
in Bristol, because obviously, like, in terms of where we finished last season, we should be a more attractive club. But Bristol have done very good business so far this season.
Yeah, Kane Wilson.
They've got
Naismith,
Yeah.
and Ross Sykes from Oxford, good player. Yeah, so we've done well to get that signing over the line, and I have full faith that he will work out for us. Last one, Yuta Nakayama from Zwolle in the Netherlands, centre back, centre mid, left back,
Versatile.
Japanese international.
I haven't. I
haven't watched the Eredivisie. I don't know what he's like. I don't watch Japanese football either. But he comes with pedigree. He comes with recommendation. He comes with
Hype.
He comes with hype. Yeah, no, he statistically he looks the part.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who it was. It was either Luon's Henshaw analytics of that Forcia ball, but one of them said that he was their third best centre back behind
Martinez and Timber. Yeah.
Which on face value that is, I love that term. On face value, I've said it so much this time.
Yeah.
He's a very good signing that we've attracted to Huddersfield Town, and Japanese internationals want to be going to the World Cup. He has got a lot to prove, and if he makes it in English football on a free transfer, we're gonna make a fair bit of money on him if he can.
It's a 2-year contract, which is somewhat
disappointing.
Yeah, but it must surely that's what he's wanted.
Yeah,
and fair enough, because if he is as good as that suggests, he's better than this. He's better than Huddersfield Town, and but it is exciting. But I can't comment anymore purely because I haven't watched him enough, and I don't want to comment anymore.
No,
but it feels exciting. It feels
I think there's a vibe. I think there's a vibe that he's somewhat of a fan favourite.
He was at Doncaster, wasn't he? And he was
at Doncaster.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no, fair play.
Taking selfies, massive grin on his face.
That's good.
I think he was just being an overall nice guy, top pro, nice guy. Get on with the fans, and if he's as rated as
job's a good one.
He is, then
job is a good one.
It's a good signing, yeah.
I mean, there's not much more to say, is there? But I wish all 5 of the lads who have stayed the best, and Kyle who's gone out on loan. Hopefully he smashes it. But yeah, I'm
Terriers Talk Loan Watch.
Terriers Talk Loan Watch. Yeah, well, do we touch on who's gone out on loan briefly?
I don't think there's no names that if Romani had gone out, you touch on it, but I don't think there's.
It's good that he's staying. Edmund's great. It's good that he's staying. He could be a massive for us.
Is it Critchlow or Noble?
Critchlow. He dropped Noble, I believe. Yeah, it's just Critchlow.
He's gone out on loan. Harrod's gone out on loan. It's not. They're the two that you're really going to keep an eye on. I don't really think Matty Daly at this point. I don't know what he's going to do with his career. I don't know.
I like Jaheim Headley. I think he's got a bit of a future as a sort of wing back. And Osterfield broke into Harrogate's team towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth keeping an eye on some of them, but there's no notable ones. It's good that Romani's staying on, and we're not. And it looks like he's in the first team now, set in stone, no more loans.
Yeah.
So touch wood, because he is a good player, and he's going to compete with Pearson, I think, for that sort of right hand side centre back.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's
a big player. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, me too.
Touching on him staying at the club, I feel like we may as well just talk about the club in general. Predictions for this season. Last season we said 14th. We were 11 places off.
Yeah, I've gone 17th already on my Twitter, so I'm going to have to stick with 17th because I had us 14th at first, and then I remembered, your Bristols and your things like this who have made good business, and I think realistically 13th to 18th I am expecting that sort of. I don't think we'll be in a scrap, but I think we'll be teetering.
Right.
That's what I'll say. I think the signings we've made are good. I think there's still more to be done. I think there's I mentioned it earlier. There's rumours of Tino Angerin coming back, and that could add a whole new dynamic to the squad. But as of right now, the squad is good. I'm happy with the squad. Could do with a striker, could do with a left back. This and that. But it's just the unexpectedness, if that's a word, of Danny Schofield, and how, because it could just be a carbon copy of Carlos Corbin, absolutely no change. But he could try his things and try his methods, and it could either be even better or it could backfire on us. So I think it'll be an all right season. I've gone with 17th. Even having predicted that, I think it's quite low. I'd expect higher than 17th, but I have gone with 17th. So I'll go low end mid table, I think, as opposed to a number. But
You had Jack Tax onto that. Last season you predicted 14th. We went 11 places better. So that means
what does that mean? 6th this time?
finishing 6th this season, lads.
Yeah, fair enough.
What are your thoughts on the season? What do you reckon?
I can't see us replicating. I don't think anyone could see us replicating. When I said the only way is up for the squad at the start of this very long episode, I can see us progressing in the long term. The signings we've made are investments for the future, with some experience in Will Boyle. Truthfully, I can see us mid-table.
Yeah.
Just outside the playoffs would be brilliant. I think, considering what we've, the quite monumental change we've had this summer. But to be honest, anything mid-table, 10th to 15th, I'd be very happy with. Not so much, 15th, but I don't think we'll be in a scrap like Jack said. But I don't think we'll be in the race for promotion again. So just stability. Because you can see what playoff finals can do to a team. I mean, look at Reading. Look what happened to them after we beat them. And it could, we could either be up there again or we could do a Reading. So yeah, mid-table.
See, I'm quite optimistic. I'll be honest with you.
Fair enough.
I don't want to say it will be playoffs. I think if Carlos was still here, I think I'd be saying potentially playoffs. But I think I don't want to be like blanket or anywhere from nth to nth. But I genuinely think there is a fairly decent chance we will get anywhere between 8th to 13th. I feel like that kind of region, I feel like will be around simply because I feel like defensively we're strong enough.
Yeah, that's true.
That we don't. I don't want to say we don't have to worry, but it's not as if we'd have lost Nichols, if we'd have lost Pearson, Lees, whoever, I feel like I'd be a lot more worried. But as much as it hurts that we're losing O'Brien and Toff, when you think about it realistically, they O'Brien is majorly affecting the middle of the park. We've not lost any defenders that have played a major part, and I don't really think defensively will be worse off. I think it's just going forward that we might potentially struggle with a bit more. So I'd say anywhere between 8th and 13th, but obviously this is where I'm majorly wrong, and we finished like 19th.
I'd still take 19th. I'd take anything that ain't going down.
I don't want to say if we better Carlos's first season, it's a successful season.
I to be honest, I would. I think that's a fair way to put it.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. It's a very.
I think the squad was worse than on paper. Carlos's first season, the squad was worse, and also it was more. I think it was not only worse on paper. I think it was a worse mentality and a worse sense of togetherness.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I think an improvement. I just think, to be honest, just take this season. I'd just love a mid-table season. I just love like a boring mid-table.
This season's just bad.
Just a couple of like 5-0 wins here and there, just to and then get it battered every now and then. Last-minute winner once or twice,
A few Borough aways would be lovely.
Oh yeah,
a few Borough aways. Yeah, I don't know, but I just.
It's a season where I don't think anybody's expecting anything, but
yeah.
I think people potentially might expect big things. It won't come as a shock to me if we're around the playoffs. No.
That's a bold call, that.
It won't come as a shock to me if we're not pushing, but we're maybe how the championship playoffs were this season, how tight it was until the last few weeks of the season. Wouldn't surprise me if we're in that kind of pack of
could
March,
make it,
could get the playoffs.
Yeah,
but I don't think we'll be in the situation where we're this season where we've not been out of the playoffs for God knows how long.
Yeah.
It's one of them seasons.
It is, and I think I speak for all of us.
I think.
What's that?
I think it's going to be proper Huddersfield Town.
I hope so. Yeah, well, I think I speak for all of us when we're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
Forward to see what Danny Schofield can do and what these new lads can do, and however many more come in between now and yeah. But I think we'll wrap it up.
Burnley at home quickly.
Niall will wrap it up. Predictions for that. What we thinking? Company versus Schofield. Scott Twine, Josh Cullen.
3-0 Burnley.
Wow.
That'll be fun. Jack, see, you're going to say that something daft.
2-1 Burnley.
I'm going to say 2-1 Town.
Oh, no, I back it.
No, right, think about it. Think how much they've got to implement ahead of next season.
They are in a transition. How
many different players they brought in? They've lost the big core of their team. They've got Josh Brownhill who might go. They've got Cornet who might go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hypothetically, is Cornet playing? Yes or no?
If he does, we're getting.
If he does, 3 or 4-0. If he doesn't,
2-1 Town. I genuinely feel quite confident in the fact that they're the 2-1 Town. Danny Ward, last minute winner, best on earth return.
Ollie Turton consolation. No, it'll be. I think it'll just be good to be back. And I'm to be honest, I'm quite fond of Burnley. I like how people like to hate them. I respect it. I know I've got Burnley fans that are mates and stuff like that, so you know. But I'm quite fond of Burnley, and I hope that they do well this season. But I think we will catch them in the period of transition, and they won't be as good then as they will be, December, January sort of time when they get rocking and rolling. But I think we'll leave it there. Feels like, have I got the script from last time? Thank you very much. It's like and no. This should hopefully be on Spotify. So if you're listening, you're one of our first Spotify listeners. But we will see you next time, probably after Burnley. And yeah, thank you very much. It's good to be back.